In this video, I'm going to go over the extra credit that's listed in the final paper description. And so for the extra credit, I lay out these steps of how to earn a 10% bonus towards your final grade. These should be submitted by November 21st. And so you're working on it about 2 weeks ahead of the final paper actually being done. And the goal of this is to get you thinking and to get you started and hopefully start to get the gears turning. Hopefully by this point you can read the data into RStudio. There's a line of code in the document which you will copy into R to create an item called DAT. Once you're able to do that, we can start to identify our research question, identify the variables we want to use, and be able to make predictions. And so I'll walk through all of that and put together my own document of extra credit so you can see what I'm kind of expecting. I'm not hoping for long treatises on any subject. I just want to see that you've done some of the work and gotten your head into this final paper. And so in identifying your research question, I've essentially given you 12 research questions. I've given you 12 variables to work with. And any of those can be a research question for this paper. I've put constraints on you. I have eliminated innumerable research questions you might be more interested in, but I've given you 12 research questions that will work and will produce a strong final paper. And so the data you're using is at the county level. You have 12 variables about counties, and so you can study what predicts higher or lower rates of any of these 12 things. So the first variable is total population. You can study why counties are more or less populous. You can use pub transit percentage, the percentage of people that take public transit. Why is public transit used more in some counties than others? What predicts the percentage of white people in a county? What predicts the percentage of college graduates in a county? Median income. Any of these variables you can use as your research question. Why do some counties vote more than others? Any of these questions will be great. There's essentially 12 research questions in front of you. For my paper, which I'm kind of just writing on the fly, and I'll be doing with you in a series of videos, I'm going to study the health insurance. I've gotten really interested in public health recently. And so my research question is going to use no insurance percentage. And so extra credit, I would say that my research question is why some counties, or let me put that. What predicts the percentage of people without health insurance in a county? Done. Right, let's go back to the description of what I'm asking for in this. Right, identify the research question. Done. All right, now I've already chosen my dependent variable though. Right, to answer that, my dependent variable will be no insurance percent. Great. Now I need 3 independent variables. What do I want to study that can help me to predict the percentage of individuals without health insurance in a county? And so I've already chosen no insurance percentage. I can't have that as both a dependent and independent variable. So I have 11 options, and any of these 11 variables could be useful. For my paper, I am going to use, so as my independent variables, I will be using, and I'm going to make a list here. I'm going to use the percentage of poverty as my first independent variable. As my second independent variable, I'll use the non-profit percent. And for my third variable, I'm going to use college percent. Okay, let's go back to the list. I've got a dependent variable. I've got 3 independent variables. So the last part is to be able to make a reasonable prediction for the effect each independent variable will have on the dependent variable. And what that means will become a lot more clear as you do the reading on regression, which is the chapter for the final week before Thanksgiving and then the chapters after Thanksgiving. And so it might be a little bit unclear. Why I include this is because I don't want you to come in and say, okay, I'll just use pop as a dependent variable, public transit, Wyatt, and college are my independent variables, done. The idea of making a prediction is to help you think through, why am I using this variable? Why am I using poverty percentage to predict the no insurance percentage? And so what I want is some description of why do you think poverty is an interesting variable to use in predicting the rate of uninsured. So I might say something like people in poverty don't have means to afford, so it should positively predict uninsured rates. And what I mean by positively is that as the percentage of poverty increases in a county, I'm expecting to see there to be a higher percentage of people without health insurance. Because poverty is a measure that says that people are struggling financially, I expect that to also mean that they don't have health insurance. For nonprofit percentage, I'm going to include that because nonprofits offer a lot of nonprofits offer health. And so as there are sort of more nonprofits and more opportunities for health and to get access, it might decrease the share of uninsured people. There might be new opportunities to get health insurance through nonprofits. And finally, I'm going to use the percentage of college graduates in the county because people that graduate college often have better jobs and jobs that offer benefits like health insurance. And so having it isn't this sort of, I don't want to make that too confusing. Anyways, college percentage is going to predict the type of jobs that people have, and those jobs will lead to health insurance. And so that's why I'm using those 3 variables. I'm going to use the no insurance percentage as my dependent variable, and this is done. I submit this, I would get 10% on my final paper, already banked. If I do not submit the final paper, I will get 10% as my grade. You should still submit the final paper, but getting this document done and getting started thinking about what you're doing is a really big step on this paper. You don't want to leave this till 48 hours before it's due and then open the final paper description. This is my push to get you thinking early. And so it's a really straightforward exercise, but it's also really important to you getting a really good grade on this paper.